Everybody ready? You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Appalachian State, you look at, can you compare with what they did to NC State and where you guys might stack up against them?
We play Saturday at 2. Like we talk about our opponent the same way. What they're good at, the things they're going to do defensively, offensively, individual tendencies. We're not really concerned with their name, their record, just the strategy of it, and just try to stay focused on the process, preparing for the game, getting better in practice, and really not concerning ourselves with how good they may or may not be. Everybody's on scholarship, everybody's capable of beating.
How do you feel about the way the young guys did the other night when you kind of had to rely on them late in the first half when some fouls got racked up, and it seemed like they held their own?
Well, we got some guys that haven't been here or have been or are in different roles that they got some talent, and it's just a matter of the more playing time they get, and they're going to get better just through osmosis. And then the other part of that, though, is just making sure you continue to teach them and they continue to develop. It's not who you are as a player, it's who you become. Same thing as a team. So right now, everybody's in the same boat. Every game you're seeing on TV, there's a lot of mistakes being made. You just got to make sure that you're playing hard enough to win, and get better in the process. Because come January, it just becomes a different game. There's a lot less mistakes, and you got to make sure you're developing your young players. So I was happy to see those guys contribute, and the more minutes we can get guys off our bench, the better we're going to be in the long run.
Is it a tough balancing act not to lose games, but get those guys, as much work as you want so they are ready?
Yeah, no question about it. That's all part of it. You got to win, though. These games all count the same. They get in there in March to pick the tournament field and to seed the field. You got to have W's, and you can't have any bad losses. So one of our goals is to make sure you win at home. Try to go on the field. So it is a balancing act, but our guys know we have a vote early in the season, and you either want Little League rules or you want West Side rules. And see, on the West Side, everybody doesn't play 3 innings. Where I grew up, you played to win, and guys vote to play to win. I offer them Little League rules. And so when you vote to play to win, then the coach gets to play whoever he thinks needs to be in the game strategically to get the W. So, at game time, it's all about getting a win. It's not about trying to, hey, I got to get this guy minutes or that guy minutes, But part of just our style of play is we played more people, trying to wear our opponent down. So substitution kind of takes care of itself. The one backlog, obviously, is hard to get guys minutes would be at 2 guard. Because SK is a guy that can play 35 minutes without getting tired as hard as anybody in the country. He's just got that kind of athleticism, that kind of mental toughness.
I could be wrong about this, but it looks like
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. And you expect it against some of the other opponents, but you see NC State, you still got a lot of good close-in looks out of the half-court offense, it seemed to me, like maybe more so than I've seen in the past. That's got to please you.
How many threes we shoot?
8.
So, we only shot 8 threes. We're trying to get the ball. You're not going to get fouled shooting threes, theoretically. The closer you get the ball to the basket, the more you're going to go to the foul line. We still got to do a better job of finishing on the basket. G-Lon missed a couple layups. Jack missed one. Titus missed a couple. Kevin Johnson made a great move in the first half, missed a layup. So we got to finish stronger around the basket. But I like the fact that we're trying to attack the basket. And you want to get to a point as a coach that you never have a wasted offensive possession. And that's just, that's where you start saying, what's he mean by you got to develop, you got to get better? Because you get to a point in these games where you can't give away 10, 15 possessions with either turnovers or quick tough shots, not running any offense, really just bailing the defense out. And you're not going to be able to do that to beat certain opponents. You're not going to be able to be a championship team wasting possessions. So it's just a teaching point. And right now, every game you turn on, their team's doing it all over the country. But what I tell the guys, it's going to be a matter of who gets better. who gets to a point where they're not wasting offensive possessions. And on the other, conversely, where you're not just giving away baskets, with whether it's a dumb foul or a defensive breakdown.
How do you feel about your press so far?
We got a long way to go with the press. Just getting lined up properly is a chore right now for us, because everybody comes in and they put in a new press offense for us because they're worried about getting pressed. Rarely do you see, in the first couple of games, they both put in a new press offense, so it's not something you went over in practice. So you have to, your players have to see that on their own and adjust accordingly, especially in the first half when we're away from our bench. And then we got to do a better job of communicating and recovering in the press. And then obviously as we get more practice time, we'll get better. You can only master so many things, right now, and you got to build your defense out from the basket all the way to the baseline. So we got it in, and then we had to go back up and get ready to win games and get solid in the half court. So it's just a matter of how much practice time we can devote to pressing.
It has been pretty effective so far.
Yeah, well, with just a wearing effect on it. Now but I'm looking at it from where I'd like it to be. We have 3 or 4 different calls with our press. Everybody's on the same page at all times. We're not only we're just trying to wear down our opponent, we need to do a better job of confusing our opponent. Well, right now, it's just a matter of just the fact that we're picking up full court. Very rarely are we all in the right position strategically, trying to confuse our opponent.
So now you're relying more on your athleticism.
Yeah, right now it's more of a wearing effect than anything else. And again, that's just more. It's going to take time.
Is this the most you've pressed? I know it's only been 2 games, but is this the most you've pressed since you've been here?
Oh yeah. Well, we haven't been deep enough in the backcourt, really. I mean, other than Big E's senior year, I mentioned him because he's here at practice today. Our second unit was a really good pressing team with Larry Davis and Darnell Wilkes coming off the bench. That year, there was times when we played big. There was times where we came with those guys off the bench. That second unit pressed a lot.
Where did you learn to press?
I was 19 at Woodward High School, and the best chance we had to score was to steal it and lay it in. We didn't shoot the ball very well.
You were a reserve coach?
Yeah. We didn't make a lot of shots, so our best chance to score was steal it and lay it in. So we pressed everybody.
You didn't play like that on the salary, did you?
Oh no, shoot. Who was I going to press? Hep was trying to hide me and Dan on defense.
But I guess, why is that so much a part of your game now? Is it something?
I used to go to Coach Patino's practices when I was a high school coach, and so doing it as a high school coach. Coach Huggins pressed me before I got on the staff in the early '90s. By the time I got with him, I used to lobby for the press all the time, and then when Kenyon would get a foul, because the press got broken, I'd get yelled at. You shouldn't have, that's your fault. We shouldn't have been pressing. I always try to envision how the players I'm coaching would like to play, and the fans, the product. If I'm a fan, if you're a fan, you watch our first couple of games. I don't know how you could not be a fan of our effort. It's not easy. The other teams aren't picking up 94 feet on every made basket. Whether we trap or not, it's different. But everybody's not picking up 94 feet. It takes great effort and commitment from your players.
Yours is different from the team.
Depends. But a lot of our philosophies are the same. We have the same principles. Now, depending on your personnel and how you're changing things around.
These guys might come around.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You talked a little bit about Titus the other night. Where do you think he's improved the most?
Oh, his effort is more consistent because his His body's in better shape. He's in much more physically conditioned athlete, having had a season and being in his second year, having an off season. But, Titus is. So I told him yesterday. I called him last night, and I told him that I want him to be captain of Justin and SK because he's earned it. He deserves it. His leadership's just as good as theirs. His voice on the floors defensively is by far our best voice. I talked to him about the responsibilities that go with that, not just on the court but off the court. So he was excited about that. He is as good a defensive player as I've had since I've been here. I mean, Titus can guard all 5 positions, and he's got a great court awareness, like some of the great defensive players that have played here in the past, covering for his teammates. And he's got the size and athleticism to do it. You know, not many guys can block shots off the ball and then switch and guard point guards. And he's also got the heart required to do it. You know, that doesn't come in that. You know, you go to the store and you buy stuff and it says, you know, battery's not included. Sometimes, you know, a heart not included.
Yeah.
When you recruit, Titus Rubel's heart was included. Guy's got a monstrous heart and his toughness. It was the game on the line. In the second half of both our games, he was able to deny his man the ball. In 2 instances where it was a 8-10 point game, they tried to run a play for his man. He smelled it out, beat the screen, and denied it and knocked the ball out of bounds. You know, you can sit there and, you know, say that that's preparation. That's personality. That's Titus Rubels. You know, you got a chance to win when you got a guy like that because he's just a winning play. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet. You cannot, and like you hear coaches talk about intangibles, and seniors, and how important it is to have veterans. There's a tangible example of what he means to our team, and you're not going to win if you don't have those kind of guys. And he is as valuable to this team as Sean Kilpatrick and Justin Jackson. He's equally as valuable as those 2 guys.